Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Adam. Adam is from Brighton in England. So let's see what Adam has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me at all?
Yes, I can. How are you, Adam?
Very good. A bit nervous. I just panicked for a minute because I thought I couldn't hear you at all, but no, it's working fine. Good. You okay?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time on Sunday morning for the interview. Afternoon for the interview.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So you're saying that you've been in Portsmouth this weekend?
Yes, I'm very exhausted. So if I'm starting to fall asleep on you, forgive me. I'll try not to. Yes, my friend Louise, my best friend Louise, had birthday not long ago, and I thought I'd treat her to it. We did try the Portsmouth night out some time back, but it was just around the lockdown, so everything was shut. So we thought, let's give it another go, and it was great, actually. It was a really good night out.
And was good weather there? Wasn't too cold?
No, it was perfect. Just a lovely sunny day. Mind you, we were in Brighton, so not far off, really. It's a lovely day today, and we had it pretty much lovely yesterday. It was great. We were a little bit out of comfort zone because we've never really been in Portsmouth on a night out. So, but we had a couple of friends that joined us, so they kind of guided us through. It was really good. Have you been before?
I have actually. I have been there a few years ago. It's been more than 7-8 years. A good friend of mine, we went camping around there, somewhere around nearby. I forgot the name of the small town, and we decided to spend the day in Portsmouth. So we spent the day there, and it was good weather as well. So we went to the beach. We had some swimming as well. So it was good fun.
It's brilliant, especially when the weather is nice. You've got the port over there. It's just beautiful. We were hoping to do a bit of shopping, but we ended up just saving the money for next time. So it was good. not too much damage done.
So you're saying you are from Brighton?
Well, I tend to say I'm from Brighton because it sounds very sexy, but I'm actually from something called Port Slade, very close to Hove.
Okay.
Because it's a family of little towns around Brighton, we tend to just say Brighton. It's about 7 minutes on a train from Brighton, but it's a little, I don't know if it's a village. No, it's not a village. It's a little town close to Hove. So yeah, not far off.
Right. And what's the best part of living in Brighton, in your opinion?
Oh, wow. Do you know what? I'm fairly new to Brighton, only about 5 years, really. But have you actually been in Brighton before?
A few times.
Okay, so you should be able to tell me whether I'm right or wrong. So Brighton is pretty much like no other city in the UK. You've got this blend of people, and these are extremely unique people. When I say unique, they're colourful in a way that you wouldn't understand until you've been and seen it with your own eyes. There's nothing that's weird over here. Actually, I would say that if you're normal, that's going to be weird because no one here is completely normal. Everybody's got so many weird sort of passions and interests. And there's a beach, so you can just about jump on your bike or roller skates like I do sometimes. And, there's no day that's boring. You would go out and you're always going to find someone looking funny or doing something funny on the street. There's lots of artists. And art is presented in so many ways and shapes. It's amazing. I absolutely love it here. But my reason for being here was because at the time I was dating a guy that lived here, but still does. And we ended up basically moving in together, and I never left.
You left him, but didn't leave Brighton.
How do you know? How do you know? You know what? I didn't leave him. We're still very good friends, but we're not together anymore. But I have not left Brighton. You're right. My friends did try to grab me back to London. I'm from London originally, but no, I'm staying for now.
Let's put that different way. You left the relationship, but you didn't leave Brighton.
I've created a brand new relationship with Brighton, so that's working fine.
And what do you do for a living, Adam?
All right, so I'm working for a group of banks in the UK. I'm a risk analyst, a credit analyst. So we're looking after the side of lending where I like to say when the computer cannot decide whether to go with the yes or no. That's when I step in, and I just usually chat to customers, to people, and decide whether we can offer lending, whether it be something tiny like a overdraft or a big thing like a mortgage, for example. So yeah.
Amazing. So you like numbers?
Do you know what? The funny thing is, I'm an artist from my sort of past and the way I thought my life would go. I used to be a musician. So actually, if you told me 20 years ago that I'd end up working for the bank, 5 of them, to be honest with you, I'd tell you that you're a liar, you know. But no, I've grown fond of the numbers, I suppose.
Very interesting. Okay, Adam, so just before we start our journey, William, the Magic Box, I would like to tell me something interesting about yourself.
Something interesting about myself, right? Well, I'm very interesting generally, William. So pick and choose. So I'm half Polish. Not half, but I'm Polish, but I'm also British. I've got a bit of a Russian heritage in me from my dad's side. But keeping it quiet nowadays, actually. I'm a former musician. I used to sing. Yeah, even though I no longer do the music anymore, I still very much sing here and there occasionally. I'm not sure how interesting that is about me, but I kind of like to go back to the music, even though it's no longer my sort of day-to-day thing. I always kind of fall back on the music. I've got my piano still here, so I do that. I'm 38, I live in Brighton, and, well, I speak Polish and English. If you want to speak Polish, I can try that.
That's very interesting. Wow, a lot of things happen in your life. And so you grew up in London. I mean, you were born in London or in Poland?
In Poland.
I mean, in England. Sorry, you were born in England or in Poland?
I was born in Poland. You could easily say at this stage of my life, it's 50-50 because I spent about first 19 years in Poland. I studied and I went to school and all that. So you could say I was brought up in Poland, but I then left and now a large portion of my life spent in first London and then Brighton. It's very funny because a lot of people do ask me, what would you consider yourself as home? I think I definitely would think of England as home. This is where my life started. You know, I grew up kind of into an adult here. But yeah, my childhood, my teenagehood, Poland, absolutely.
Amazing. Yeah. And so your parents, they are English or they are Polish?
No, so both parents are Polish. My dad still lives in Poland, never left with us. Mum lives in London, not far from yourself. And yeah, I came over here first, and then over time, I just brought my family over. My brother and my sister-in-law are also here. So, but we're very much born and bred in Poland. So that's the heritage.
Good, very good. Right, Adam, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your experience? Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here. Box full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question, okay?
Go for it, yeah.
Do it. Okay, Adam, ready for the first question?
Go for it.
Right, so through the games, there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, I always can change, okay?
Sure.
All very friendly. First question is, what's the best advice have you ever given?
Best advice I've ever given? I think I would say a saying that I tend to keep repeating a lot by Ernest Hemingway, the novelist. And it says, the only or the best way to find out if you can trust someone is to trust them. So it wasn't direct advice to me, but I tend to live by this quote quite a lot. So there you have it.
Amazing, actually, it's amazing. I think it's the only way you can trust someone and trying to trust someone and give this trust.
You might be, you might be wrong about them, but you need to give them benefit of the doubt, give it a good shot, and most of the people are great, and so they have it.
Absolutely, totally agree. Good one. Next question, let's do it. Next question for you is. Okay, I'm going to skip this one. Look, I already talk about that. Tell me something interesting about yourself. You already talk about that.
We've done that. Yeah, we've got that.
Right, Adam, tell us about your guilt pleasure.
Oh my goodness. Dance. I'm not sure how guilt pleasure it is, but it's certainly a pleasure. I have always been very musical, and dance is my way to kind of get a little bit freaky. And I think the guilty part here is that I just like dancing in my underwear. so I tend to just lock all my windows and blinds, and I just have my music on, and I could go for hours. A lot of the evenings I spend just locked in my room dancing to myself.
Amazing. You know why you feel guilty because you are wearing underwear? Why? What's the guilty?
Well, once actually, I'll tell you, William. Once I had one of my neighbors met me in a store locally here, and she said, "Oh, I saw you dancing, but you really should put some clothes on next time." I sometimes forget to close the window, so you never know.
Some people might appreciate that. Some people might be like staring and looking.
I'm not entirely sure. I need to ask her again if she appreciated that, but I'm hoping she did.
I think dancing is like a therapy, isn't it? You are expressing yourself, all the energy, you are kind of changing energy in your body. I think it's a good way of, relaxing. I think it's a good way of dance. I love it.
Absolutely. Do you dance at all?
I do, actually. I do. Not every day. I wish I could dance every day, but as soon as I find myself like free for some reason, or I'm happy in a very good mood, I put some music on and I just dance as well. I think it's a nice way to share energy and to relax as well. But always, there's always music being around my life as well. And dancing is something that I've always done. Something.
Well, it's very healthy. It's a great exercise, by the way. But also, it gets so much negative energy out of you when you've had a good old dance and then have a nice shower. Everything just looks so much better suddenly. Totally. So yeah, definitely do more of that.
Totally. And I find that it's a therapy. For me, it's a therapy. It's like dancing. Really? It just brings good energy. You think straight better. Your mood changes as well. And it's just bringing a lot of positivity. I think I like as well. It's a good way.
100%. We need to dance together sometimes. I'll bring you
up. Yes.
we'll just put some clothes on and we'll be dancing together.
I can dance without clothes as well.
Oh, you can do that too? Oh, cheeky. Fine, let's do it.
Yes, when I come to Brighton next time, let's organize that for sure.
Here.
Next question. There you go. Adam, before the next question, tell me what do you like the most about your job? And of course, there is always a challenging part as well. What that would be?
Okay, do you know what? The most important thing about my job is that I actually get to give people really good news. When people come over and apply for any sort of lending, whether it's a loan or mortgage, you name it, there's always something important on the other end. Some asking for money for wedding, others for property, their first home. There's always something important for them where the money will be utilized. And I think knowing that the system at this stage wasn't able to say yes to them, it gives me such a pleasure to it's not always going to be a yes from me, obviously, but it gives me such a pleasure to be able to approve these things for these people, even if it's just a small percentage. So that's the best part. Now, the challenging bit, I think at the moment, I'm not alone. I'm not a loner. I love people. So for me, working from home, which we've been asked to do for some time now, I think this would be for now the worst thing, because I really cannot wait to get out and just meet my colleagues. I love my colleagues. They're a great bunch. So I think that would be the only challenge for now.
Next question for you is, how would you like to be remembered in life?
You know what? Oh, God, you've got those questions. I always thought that I would be the musician, and I would be always remembered for my music. I write music, I write lyrics, and I sing. But that didn't. Well, I'm not gonna say it didn't work out. It's just it didn't become my main job. But I still have this really, really weird sort of hope that I cling on to, that music of mine that I've already done and recorded, that's kind of splattered around YouTube, you name it. Nothing big, don't worry. I'm not a celebrity of any kind, but I do hope that one day somebody's going to bump into it and just listen to it and remember me by it. I think that's what it is. I'd like someone to remember me for some art, because I'm not a president of any country, so I haven't really done anything massive. but the music and some of the songs I've written, I think were the best sort of creations I've done in my life. So I'd like them to survive.
Amazing. And saying that, Adam, how did the music came into your life? How did you start the passion about music?
It's almost impossible to say. People do like to believe it's from my dad because my father is a musician. But the thing is, I don't think that my father necessarily made me love music. I think we may have just had the same genetic code because I just was born into music and I loved it from day one. I remember the first day that I decided this is it, I am going to be with music, was when I was about 7 years old. And I joined this in my primary school back home in Poland. We would have certain groups of kids that were divided into sections depending on what they liked in life, and I went into the music group, if you like, music class. And the very first day that we gathered, my teacher, Miss Ivona, she played on a piano and started singing to us, and I sat literally in the front row so I could see her exactly, her fingers running around wild. And that was it for me. Not only did I fall in love with music, but I also immediately started learning to play piano. And I kept watching her every single day, doing whatever she was doing there. And the funniest thing about me playing piano is that I cannot read music, because I only learned to play piano by simply watching what she was doing. Do you know what? She actually doesn't know that. I wish I could one day tell her this, but she was playing and I was copying everything she was doing later on at home. So I can play, but I don't know what it's called. I don't know what those notes are called. I just make the sound, and it's free.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. She'll know now because of the interview. She'll know now that you.
You got this. See, this is something that I'm going to leave after for myself to be remembered by.
Very good. Very good. Next question, Adam. Okay, Adam from Poland. Next question is, what do you like the most in your best friend?
In a specific best friend?
Yeah, it's something that you like the most?
Well, my best friend is Louise, which I spend the past 24 hours with. And what do I like about her best? My goodness, what don't I like about her? I mean, when you sometimes just meet the human being and you just connect on a level that you cannot even explain. That's it. That's the kind of thing we have. We're not perfect. We argue, we do all sorts of disagreements, but we just connect, we just bond, we understand each other. And you know what? I've recently realized one thing. When everything goes wrong in my life, when I get very excited about something or I'm very sad about something, the first thing that you get, the urge that you get is to tell somebody. And I've realized that she is my absolute first person that I'm going to go to. Not even my mother, don't tell her. But Louise is the woman I'm going to go to tell her about my news. I remember I once had this moment when I had my heart broken and I really was upset. I was crying and my hand just immediately dialed Louise's number. I just go to for everything, and she's always there. She's always finding time for me, no matter how silly the thing is. So yeah, that's what I love about her, absolutely.
And how did you guys meet up for the first time?
Well, I through my work, when I moved to Brighton, actually, I had to ask my work to allow me to swap from London office to something closer. Now, that didn't necessarily work out at first because they gave me an office that was in a town called Horsham, which funny enough was completely the same distance as if I was going to London. So it wasn't at all any closer, but it was just a little bit cheaper. And I walked in the very first day to the office of the bank, and there she was sitting there having her lunch. And we just sat next to each other, and we never separated since.
Oh, that's amazing. I believe when the connection is there, that's it.
You got this, yeah.
Absolutely. It's like a relationship, isn't it? I think
it is a relationship, yeah.
It's a relationship for sure. It's like daily, every day there's something new. Every day there's a new challenge, happiness, joy as well, fun moments. So I think that's what a friendship is about. It's about living life together.
Absolutely. You need just one friend and you're already lucky.
Very good. Next question. Let's do it.
I like your music choices as well, you know?
Again?
I like your music choices as well.
Yay, it's a Brazilian music.
Good.
Adam, so before the next question, when you think about Poland, when you close your eyes, think, oh my God, that's my home, my country. What's the best memory that comes to your mind when you think about your childhood in Poland? And why England?
Okay, well, listen. So Poland, it's a funny one because I feel that as much as Poland is my home country, I don't feel this is my home because, like I told you earlier on, everything in my life started in England. And I don't think I felt particularly comfortable in Poland for a couple of reasons. The fact that I'm gay, the lots of things. So as much as I'm very fond of the country and I always have a respect to them, I think England is where I found my actual home and where I got accepted for who I am, and I could actually do things the way I want to do. The one thing from Poland that I always fondly remember is that musical part where I was growing up from about 7 to pretty much 19 when I left, because it almost seems as though the moment I moved to England, that's when the music became less important because I started growing up, got my job. Whereas up until the point before I left Poland, I was this awkward kid with long hair, lots of acne everywhere, possibly bad breath, you know, but I loved life. I played music. I was going anywhere with my guitar, and I was carefree, you know. I had millions of worries, but at the same time, I always felt like I could come back home and play and I'll be fine. So I think thinking of Poland, that's the one thing that I always remember most fondly. The fact that I was very, very much full of dreams for music, all the plans that I had. And why England? Well, I'll tell you, because I've always been a huge fan of few people, and they included George Michael. They included a great singer called Ronan Keating, and a couple of other artists, and they were based here. So I had this evil plan that I'm gonna arrive here and I'm gonna knock on the door to George Michael, and I'm just gonna say, hey, I'm Adam, can I record a song with you? That's exactly what was meant to happen. So that's why England. Obviously that didn't happen, although I did go to his house, but he wasn't in.
Wow, amazing.
I'm not joking. I did go and stood there. It was just hilarious. I don't know what I was thinking, but I didn't actually get to see him. I did see his partner at the time, Kenny, but just from a distance. But England, yeah, it just seemed like a logical a place for me. William, move was always about music. Always, I needed to go to a place where I was gonna be okay making music. See, I never sang in Polish, so and none of my music teachers could ever understand. But when I was singing in Polish, I couldn't sing. I felt like something wasn't quite forming the art. So I would start singing in English before I even knew how to speak English. You know, you should see some of the songs I wrote when I was 12, 13. You wouldn't understand the word because I couldn't speak English at all. But I was trying. So yeah, so England just seemed like a easy sort of choice. And I really wanted to work with George Michael and Ronan Keating. So that was that.
Amazing. I love it. Next question is, what do you think are the best traits for a person to have?
Resilience. It has to be resilience. You know, I actually have it, which I'm so lucky. You know, the ability to bounce back. The thing is, everything else is material. You know, whether you have money, whether you've got knowledge, whether you've got education, all that stuff is very material, and it really doesn't mean anything. But we do have. However lucky you are or however rich you are in life, you will have low points and you will have moments where things just go wrong. And I think being able to bounce back and actually nicely lift yourself up is something that is the best thing you could possibly have. And following that train of thought, the ability to compare to those less fortunate. It's very natural for us, isn't it, William, that we compare ourselves to somebody that's better. And it could either motivate you or it could make you jealous, whichever way you go. But we always tend to look at those people that are taller, better bodies, richer. But it's quite an art and quite a humbling experience to be able to look at those people that are not so fortunate, and suddenly you feel so empowered and so lucky. And I think that is a good thing to have, that kind of sort of resilience. Yeah.
Totally agree. I think when you see those most vulnerable people, that's when you feel you find yourself in a moment to be more grateful. But we have so much in life that you have no idea. We have so much that if you're gonna start writing, making a list, it's gonna be endless, because
I actually do that too. I do that too.
That's amazing. I think that's something just to remind yourself how much you have, how much we have, how much you should be grateful for. And sometimes we just realize that when you see those most vulnerable people, that we can see that we are in a very good place. Sometimes we forget that and we take for granted sometimes.
Absolutely, 100% agree.
Okay. Next question, Adam. Let's do it.
Next question, William. Do it.
Okay, Adam, next question is, do you know anyone who is living their life to the fullest?
God, that's a tough one, isn't it? Do I know anybody that's living life to the fullest? Do you know what? I'm sure I do. Louise, for starters, she's the kind of girl that not afraid of anything at all. I think I'm going to say my sister-in-law, Janetta. She is the kind of girl that just is happy and to live that life to the fullest. The fullest would mean different things for everybody, because you will always feel like you could do more. But she's just one of those girls that doesn't wait for anything. She just does things. She wants a baby, she has a baby, She wants a new house, she goes and gets a house. And I know it sounds very materialistic, but it's more to show that she's just going for these things. So, and we are both Cancerians. People do say that we are very, very alike, even though she's not blood related. She's only my sister-in-law. So we're very alike. So I think maybe I might be living life to the fullest. You never know.
And she lives in England as well?
Yes, she moved with my brother. She was the last one to move, but been already at least 10 years. They live in a place called Brighton, very close to Ascot.
Amazing, very good. Next question, Adam, let's do it. But before the next question, as you mentioned before about being gay, yeah? Did you always have the support of your family? Tell me if you can share the day when it came out, that something happened, or you decide to say, okay, that's the way I am, that's the way I want to live my life, and you just decide to come out.
Well, let's start from the second question. When did I come out? I was coming out to different people at different times. Now, I first kind of realized what was going on with me when I was around 14, maybe 15. I remember I was watching, back home in Poland, I was watching this series called Dawson's Creek. You may have watched it before. and there is a character in there, Jack, who was gay and who was featured in the series. And I think that at the time, even in America, where the movie the series was produced, it still was very much a taboo thing to come out as a gay person. And in Poland, forget it, it was completely out of question. But when that episode was aired, and I realized, I thought, that'd be me. That's me. And weirdly enough, everybody thinks that it must have been very scary for you to realize that. No, it wasn't. I was absolutely relieved. I was happy. I was jumping from happiness. I was thinking, so I'm not sick. Nothing's wrong with me that I like boys, because I could never understand what was this whole big talk about the girls. All my friends are talking about breasts and girls and everything, and I couldn't get it. I was like, why? It's not really exciting at all, And then I watched the episode of Dawson's Creek, and I thought, that's me. I'm a homosexual. Of course, for me, I knew already very early that I'm gonna have to keep this to myself. I just had it in my genetic code, I think. I knew I couldn't possibly say to anybody, absolutely nobody. But I was just so comfortable with knowing what's up, what's going on with me. And then I discovered that there are other gay people in the world that are actually known, famous, and respected. And I just started building up that confidence. I just knew that I had to, for now, keep it to myself. I think I was about 19 when I came out to my friend, Magda, from school. And I came out to her writing a song, and I wrote a song, and I recorded it, and I played it to her. The song was called Different, but then I changed the title into Stranger in a Crowd. I recorded the song, and before anybody heard it, I sent it to Magda, and she listened to the song, and she said, "Ooh, what's this about?" And I said, "Well, it's song for you, because I need to tell you something." And that's when I told her about it. So she was kind of the first person that ever heard the words from my mouth, if you'd like. But the full blown coming out, when I just couldn't care less anymore, I just thought, here we go, let's just paint the town pink. I think I must have been about 24, 25. I was here in the UK when my then partner, after about 5 years together, we split up, and I was so heartbroken that I just couldn't hold this anymore. And it was so weird because this was very early days in the UK for me. So when I arrived in the UK with my partner Irek, we were lying that we were cousins. Now, don't ask me why, because we thought that UK was already fairly agreeable with us as a community, but we just had it in our genetic code. Again, we were so terrified of the truth from the Polish reality that we, for many years, just kept telling everybody we are cousins. But when we split up, I was so heartbroken and so utterly damaged, I just couldn't stop crying. And one day a friend of mine said, "Why are you crying? What's wrong?" And I said, well, Irek's left. And they couldn't understand because he was my cousin. Well, so what did he left? Where did he go? And that's when I said, well, you don't understand, and I told them that Irek wasn't really my cousin, it was my partner, and we split up. And that's when the penny dropped, if you like. But that was also the time when I finally spoke up. And one of my friends, very much around the same time, Rishikesh, his name is a good lad. He said, look, you need to tell your mother. Because they knew that at that stage, I had just told my colleagues at work, but they knew that no one else knew. So Rishikesh said, look, never mind us, never mind the work. You need to tell your mother so you can come home and have a chat. Because I was in such a state, I was absolutely, I was damaged beyond words. It was my first love, my first boyfriend, and you just never thought it was going to ever end. And when I told my mom eventually, and I could finally talk it out of my chest, if you like, it was the best thing I'd done. So that's kind of how I came out. But it's fairly late. I'm a late bloomer, I would say.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that. I think all of us, we have our story to tell. We have a different way of coming out, and we have different support or different approach. And I think all of us, we have a story that it counts at the end of the day. I think, you know what I mean? I think everything counts, and everything is part of the journey.
When it comes to coming out, William, yeah, absolutely agreed. Everybody's got their own sort of story to tell, but more importantly, they will choose the time that is right for them. I don't like it when people are starting to convince people to come out. Great, it's good to convince and encourage them, but ultimately they need to be happy to do this. And usually, funny thing is, I feel that every coming out story, there's always something that would happen around the time in their life that would just give them that push. However tragic it may be, it's always, the reason. So that was my story.
I'm going to share something. I'm going to share a story with someone. I had someone on the show, a lovely American guy from Houston in Texas. And the way he came out I just found fascinating. I'm going to share with you what he did. He said, so he has a brother, and he was 19 years old as well. He was very young. And so they had every Christmas, their parents had a treat for them. Their Christmas present was to travel somewhere in the world during Christmas Day, Christmas time. Yeah, they were going to Mexico or to Bahamas, anywhere in the world. That was their treat for Christmas time. And 4 of them. And they had a rule between the family, which was, you just need to buy a present, the maximum of $10. That was the maximum, yeah? So what he did, he bought the 3 DVDs, these 3 gay DVDs, movies about gay people, you know? I mean, look how amazing. 3 DVDs, and of course, was like different kind of movies about gay people. So on Christmas Day, they all sat out in the living room. They were all sat in the living room, and it was his turn to give away the presents. And he was like, "Okay, so I've got your present." So he gave to his mom, he gave to his dad, and he gave to his brother. So they started to open the present, and they kind of realized that was something a little bit different stories about gay people. Anyway, and he was like, and I am gay. So I just found fascinating, you know, so creative that he found a way to, you know, to come out. And I think he was very brave as well, because it's such a memorable time of the year, Christmas, that for that day on, they're going to remember for the rest of their lives about this beautiful day that when he came out. So I think it was fascinating the way he did, very brave as well. And I think very brave, and I think it's beautiful. And he knew that he said to William, he's a lawyer actually, and he said, William, I knew that they will support me. I knew it. I just need to find a way. I just found, and this was my way of coming out. But I knew that. And he said, was some tears at the time, of course, you know, they were having an emotional time as well, but the support was there, and their parents was there as well, and his brother was there as well. So that's what I found fascinating.
That's definitely a dramatic entrance, I would say. So yeah, I love that story.
Next question for you is, where do you want to be in 10 years time from now?
Funny enough, I think about it quite a lot, actually. Do you know what? I think I've come to quite a comfortable place in life where I'm no longer looking for a partner. I'm certainly not against it, but I think I've reached this sort of point in my life where I'm thinking I'm fine. I'm fulfilled to the point where I'm okay with being single. So I no longer see myself in 10 years' time married with kids. But I see myself having a beautiful house with a garden. I would like to, my little thing is I would like to open a coffee shop. It's the weirdest thing in the world because it's got nothing to do with anything, but I just have this friend in America, Tommy, my little American husband, I say. And he's running this beautiful coffee shop called City America in Alabama. And he just makes it seem so amazing. I just want to open a little coffee shop and just sit there, twisting my beard and just make great cappuccinos, and just every customer will be my best mate. You know, that's where I see myself. And if I do get some special somebody to help me out with the shop, and some other, you know, living soul to join my life, brilliant. Well, I'm already lucky because I've got you to dance with me next time. So it's a good start. It's a good start.
Hey, getting there. Adan, I have 3 questions left for you, okay? Let's do it. Are you drinking coffee?
Uh-huh.
Right, Adan. Do you have any nicknames?
I do. Meerkat, like a little suricate. Yeah, I'm a short guy, and I was once in a club in Spain, in Sitges, and I was desperately trying to order a drink, but I'm so short. I'm only 5'6", in heels, so I couldn't get to the queue, and I was looking like this above the surface, and I remember this beautiful fella just grabbed my hand, dragged me over to the front of the queue and said, "What do you want to drink?" And it was an event for the Bears, which I thought I was. And the guy said to me, "Well, you're too little to be a bear." And he goes, "Well, you can't say that to me." And that's when he said, "You're not a bear, you're a meerkat, you know, so that's your name." And then all my friends basically took it over, and it never stopped.
Something Adam in Polish would say Adam as well.
Yes, it's just perhaps a slight difference in pronunciation, but it would be English would be Adam, and Polish would be Adam. A lot more, a lot more sort of emphasized, but same name. It's not Adamski.
I must tell you something. I've got so many Polish friends, like very good friends, Polish, and my great grandmother was Polish.
You're joking. Well,
yeah,
there you have it. There's a reason why we're connecting so well.
Yeah, there's a Polish blood, and I've got so many Polish friends. I was working in a hotel a few years ago, and I don't know, they were around me. I just felt like comfortable to be around them, and I've known so many Polish words like cześć, dzień dobry. I've got so many words that you have no idea. So yeah, that's when I find out, and I was like, wow, that's the connection that I can see. That's why I'm so connected with the Polish people, Polish crowd.
They're the good bunch. We do have a very specific kind of hospitality. We are very sort of accommodating people, So yeah, it's no surprise. I'm quite proud of the Polish side in my life. So yeah, absolutely spot on.
Very good. 2 questions left for you.
Oh.
Adam, before the next one, as I can see how much you enjoy living in England, in Brighton, but what's the most challenging part, in your opinion?
About living in the UK?
In Brighton.
In Brighton specifically?
Yeah.
I know the answer to that. You know what it is? When you are in a city like Brighton, where a gay community thrives so much, and what I mean by it, we have gay bars left, right, and center. You could go out and there's just so many men there to pick and choose from. I feel that the downside of that is the gay community here is equally in London. I'm sure you'll agree. I think we've lost the touch with relationships with each other. We have become like that little crazy kid in a chocolate factory, wanting to have every chocolate and effectively not eating anything. You get a lot of open relationships. You get a lot of people, one minute they're going to love you, the next minute they forget about you, because it's too easy to meet another guy. And I really kind of would love to one day find myself in a place where meeting somebody is special, and you just hold on to that. You don't look for anything better. You just enjoy what you've got, and that's plenty. And I think Brighton is exactly this sort of blend of blessing and a curse. You have all these beautiful men out there, so you could say you're the luckiest man in the world, but it's very difficult to find any meaningful relationship among those people, because it's a rat race. They're always looking for something new, so you end up often just being alone, and you just end up playing the game of Brighton, basically, which is moving from one to another and moving forward. So that's the challenging thing about Brighton, I would say, 100%.
All right. Next question is, how do you make friends?
Can I tell you how I make friends? Me and Louise, when we get a little bit merry after a few drinks, we literally just sit down next to people and say, can we be your friends for tonight? And we did this last night, and we made some lovely friends. I actually got a date because I met some fella yesterday.
Wow.
Who lives in Worthing, so it's next door. You just go there and talk to them. Obviously, you don't have to necessarily go and ask them to be your friends. But I think I've always been pretty easy to talk to people, and I don't have this sort of barrier that would make me shy. I have many other insecurities and many other sort of monsters, but I'm not a shy person, and I think I can easily just walk into the crowd and just introduce myself. That's pretty much how I made most of my friends so far. So,
wow, that's amazing. I think being approachable, you're an approachable person. When you are open to opportunities, when you are approachable, that's it. People can see that, and they feel it, and they feel connected with you.
Absolutely agree. I mean, you seem like the kind of same person, aren't you? You must be creating this sort of content.
Yes, yes, I'm kind of I feel myself a very approachable person. I think people they feel safe or they feel nice to come to me, talk to me, and sometimes believe it or not, I'm very shy as well. Sometimes I can get very shy, but I'm very easy to talk to and be approachable, and I think that's it's a plus. I think it's a plus for sure.
100% agree. It's a pleasure talking to you. It is.
Hey, remember I said I'm shy. I'm gonna get shy, okay?
Oh, we can't have you being shy. Come on.
Ready for the last one?
Yes, go for it.
Let's do it. Last question. Adam, before the next one, the last question. For you personally, what was the biggest positive impact that COVID crisis brought to you in a positive way? And what's the biggest negative impact that brought to you as well at the same time?
So the negative, I would say, is that the fact that it looks like things have changed without the way to go back to what it was. At first you thought, oh, it's just going to be 2 weeks or maybe 2 months. But now the changes that have happened, working from homes, people have lost jobs. I think there are lots of changes that will never bring the life back to what it was. So that's a bit sad. And the fact that I'm working from home and I don't get to see my colleagues is definitely the downside. The good thing, Will, is now that I have, that we've been allowed to maybe go out and do a little bit more, even though we're still being cautious. I think I now do things a lot faster. I'm a lot more keen to do things. I'm not waiting for tomorrow to do things. I just do things because I always keep thinking, I don't know how much time we have now, Are we going to get locked up again? So I try to kind of enjoy things a little bit more. I definitely see people as much as I can. So I think that is always going to be a good thing. We have all changed a little bit, every single one of us over those 2 years.
Last question for you is, what was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
Sing. That's easy. I would go to actually, do you know what? Not even sing, because singing was just part of it. I just loved music. You know what I would do? I would come into my room, I would go under the duvet so it's dark, and I would have my massive earphones, and I'd literally just lie there in complete darkness and I'd listen to songs, to music, whoever I was enjoying at the time. And the funniest thing for me was that I would then always imagine certain things while I would listen to music. So for me, putting those earphones on and listening to music was almost like transferring myself into some sort of virtuality. I just loved it. I would spend most of my time as a kid just on my own listening to music. I was a weird kid, I'll tell you.
Adam, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words and you just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Life.
Enjoyment.
One word for love.
Respect.
Money.
Greed.
Family.
Safety.
One word for sex.
Connection.
Politics.
Confusion.
Religion.
A choice.
Fear.
Realization of something.
Friendship.
Security.
Desire.
Passion.
Regret.
Pain. I would say regret would be to pain, yeah.
Success.
Sharing.
One word for wish.
Hope.
Happiness.
A goal, life goal.
One word for England.
Home.
One word for Brighton.
I think happiness, yeah, I'd say, yeah.
One word for Poland.
Roots.
One word for singing.
I'm going to say passion, yeah.
Right. I'll think about the last one now. Okay, last one now. George Michael, one word.
A regret.
Why is that?
Because I really wanted to meet the guy and I didn't get a chance. And you know that feeling when you've been a huge a fan of somebody, and I just didn't get a chance, you know. And I lived at the same time. It was in theory possible. So it's always going to be a bit of a regret. There's a couple of people in life that I just always feel like, I've missed that. You know, I would love to have met Princess Diana, Freddie Mercury, George Michael, even Whitney Houston. So there's so many people that I just feel I'm never going to see them or hear them live. So that's a huge regret.
Wow, interesting. Right, let's pretend I'm going to meet your lovely friend. Louise, you said her name is Louisa, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to meet Louisa for a coffee and I'm going to ask her, tell me the most beautiful thing about Adam and tell me something that he still needs to improve on, to work on. What she would say?
I think when you ask her about the beautiful thing, she would just say very generically, she said, she's my friend, she's my best friend, because we are literally relying on each other on just about everything. We have become inseparable, really. So I think she would appreciate my friendship with her. I think she would possibly say that I need to boost my confidence, because as much as I'm a confident person, I'm also a very insecure person. So I don't very easily believe in people liking me or you know, fancying me. So I think she would definitely say that that's the one thing I need to work on, get myself a little bit more comfortable with this body I live in and the person that I am, you know, and not really doubt myself so much.
Do you see some work in progress?
I think so. You know, I just bought a bench and dumbbells and I'm working out. Okay, so I'm making progress. I'm improving my life and I'm kind of, I'm moving the right direction. Absolutely.
Good for you. Very good. Let's play now, Adam, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Adam, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, can I ask you 2 questions though?
Just because you are from Poland, you can.
Thanks. Thanks. First question, you know, when I told you about some of these people that I would love to have met and I've lost the opportunity, I want to ask you something similar, but I'm not going to ask you about the people that you cannot meet anymore. They could still be alive. But I want to know if you could pick one person, famous person that is recognized in the world, whether dead or alive, to spend an evening with, go for a drink and just spend the night chatting or doing whatever, who would that be?
That's a very easy answer for me, because I actually, when you were saying about when you were talking about that before, the people that I didn't meet, and actually I was thinking about that as well. Some people that's already gone. For example, Michael Jackson. It's someone that I would love to meet, just to have a vibe, to see how he is to be himself. It's someone that's gonna be is not gonna be able anymore to happen that. But answer to your question, there is a Brazilian entertainer called Xuxa, who knows me. Everyone who knows me knows how much I love her. I grew up with her. I grew up in the 80s, and she was on TV every morning, coming in this beautiful starship. So imagine this beautiful Barbie come every morning with music, with songs. You know, I learned how to count with her, you know, for children. And actually, she was a big, massive in South America, even in Spain as well. In the US, she met Michael Jackson, she met Madonna, the Pope. So she always been, a very massive. Yes, I grew up with her. And I think all my generation, everyone in Brazil who grew up in the 80s or even in the 90s knows who she is and the biggest impact she left in our lives. You know what I mean? She always been very positive. She always left this message about going after your dreams, you know, never give up. So I remember as a child, listen to that every single day. And I'm so grateful because I think nowadays I'm in England, I'm living my dream, I'm living a life that I always wanted because of her, because I was listening to those phrases every morning. She's saying that nothing's possible, everything's possible if you go after it, if you believe in your dreams. So saying that, I'm, you know, even the show I'm doing now, it's something, you know, that she always said, it's never too late to start anything. It's always the right thing will come the right time. So I always follow my dream, thinking about, I think I was very lucky, not just me, but all my generation that grew up watching her. And nowadays I see so many people around the world who they are famous and they go like, oh, Shusha, I don't smoke today because of you. I remember that as a child. I remember nowadays I do what I love because of you. So I've seen so many people give interviews about that. And I can't wait one day to meet her in person and say, you know what? I'm doing what I love now because of you, because you're there, encouraged me so much as a child, you know. And she didn't even know how much the impact she was giving people in children's life, you know, at the time. So yeah, for sure, Shusha, XUXA. Actually, once I asked one of my Polish friends to read her name, and he was Suksa, because of the X. But even my Polish friends, they go like, when they see something on Instagram, on Facebook about her, they always tag me. They always send, you know, videos to me because they know how much I love her. And sometimes I get surprised. I get, oh my God, even those people, how they know that I love her? And they still remember, because when I talk about her, I've always been very passionate, I've always been very expressive, and people remember that. So yeah, Shusha for sure.
Amazing. And so what would you do with her then? How would you spend the day with her?
Right, so very good. I think I would spend the whole day with her, just to see if she knew at the time, because she was very big. My God, actually Michael Jackson wanted to marry her at the time because she was so big. So, you know, and I would like to ask her, how did she deal with that, like in her life, as you know, she was in this spot all the time, and people around South America, around Brazil, everything she was doing, people was around. She was, you know, singing for the stadiums of 70,000 people. And I would like to talk to her. What's the biggest impact that she brought that from that period of her life, you know, and if she's aware how much she helped people, you know, like children like me that grew up watching her. And if she was aware that the biggest impact at the time she was giving to people's lives, that she had this she was conscious about, because she left a mark. She left a mark in you know what I mean, in our lives. And it's amazing how people, they can leave a big impact in our lives. You know, sometimes they even don't know, or they don't realize that. So I'd like to have a chat with her, just to, actually I will one day. Actually I will for sure. I can't wait one day to meet her in person and to have a talk and to see. Actually, sometimes when I do interviews with people from Americans, the other day I had someone from America, and he asked a question about, similar to yours, about who is my biggest idol. And I said, Shusha, and I could see her face. I said, do you know her? She was like, of course I do. And I remember my mom like listened to her, and I was like, oh my God, how it's possible? Like, it's amazing. And so yeah, I think it's someone that it always will have a beautiful place in my heart, for sure.
Amazing. I'm gonna have to check who that is. But
yes, I'll send you a link about in English, so you can have an idea.
Yeah, I can't wait. Right, one more question, you promised. So, this is an easy one. Well, I don't know. If you could choose one superpower, what would you choose?
Another very easy answer to you. Right, so if I could have the superpower of meeting all those people around the globe, the people who has these very closed minds, like closed-minded, they don't wanna open their minds to the world, they don't want to understand things around the world. If I have the superpower to meet all of them and to touch their heads, to open their mind, I think the world would be in a better place. If I could be able to explain to them that even if you don't understand, even if you don't agree, even if you don't, it's not something that you never knew before, but if you respect, if you try to understand, I think the world would be in a better place. If I had the superpower of just open-minded or open people's minds, you know what I mean? To let people to be more approachable, as you say about being approachable. I think that would be my superpower. If I have.
So you would have a power to, with the touch, affect people's decisions and minds. Yeah, that's a good one. Do you want to know mine?
Yes.
I would love to be able to teleport myself. So I could be here right now and click my fingers and be in America like that. I'd love to teleport myself to different places. That would be my superpower.
Very good. But actually, I could give a list as well. After that, if I could speak all the language in the world, I would be amazing. If I could speak
that's a good one too. That's a good
Oh
one
my
too.
God, imagine. Because even though if you learn a language, you're never gonna understand 100% about the language itself. So imagine you go to Poland, you can speak Polish fluently, understand everything. You go to Italy, you can speak Italian, China, everywhere you go. Can you imagine how amazing to be speaking fluently every language in the world? Oh my God, that would be amazing, a superpower for sure.
It's kind of possible. You can always use your Google Translator, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same. There's always something they're missing. I'd love to be able to because as you know, we live in England, in London, there's so many people around the world, you meet so many people. And sometimes you meet all those people and you understand sometimes, even though, if there is like two French people talking, you are in the middle of the conversation, there's always a break. There's always something that's, you know what I mean? You're never going to speak 100% together. But if I could speak 100% every language, oh my God, it would be amazing.
Brilliant. I like that superpower very much.
Adan, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
I loved it. I did not know what to expect. I was very curious, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't do it before. No, I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time for the interview. I really appreciate that. And before you go, I would like to share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires your life.
So I already told you one of my quotes I use, but I've got another one. There you have it. It's a very positive thought. American inventor, Thomas Edison, the guy that invented motion picture, he once said the words, he said, "I have not failed. I simply have found 10,000 ways that won't work." And I kind of like that. I really like that. It kind of resonates of my life, you know how I told you before, I'm very easily bouncing back up. I think that's why these words really kind of apply to me. So yeah, that's my positive thought for you.
I'm gonna ask something as well. If you can say like a phrase or positive phrase in Polish that people use a lot in Poland and you can translate as well, it would be easy for you to pick something.
Okay, so in Poland, we have this word, it's zajebiście. It's not an awful swear word, it's just borderline, you would be okay to say it in front of the child. And it's a weird one because you cannot translate this directly into English. It doesn't have its own direct equivalent, but zajebiście means that something is freaking fantastic, basically. But we've got our own little word, which is just a little bit naughty, but it sends such positive vibe. You could literally use that word in any situation and describe any sort of. It's a tricky one. You wouldn't use that in front of your boss, but it's also very, very sort of universal when it comes to all the Poles around the world. If you just say to a Polish person, "zajebiście," they'll definitely give you a thumbs up.
Hey, very good, very good. Adan, thanks so much. It was a pleasure meeting you. And yes, I come to Brighton one day and I'm going to meet for sure for a coffee. Or you come to London.
100%. I was just about to say, look, absolutely. You don't live very far. So just give us a shout. I'll show you a few bars and show you the beach. And then we can do some dancing.
For sure. I look forward to it already. Thanks so much. Okay? Keep in touch.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Na razie. Na razie.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.